So there's so many cool ways to activate a masculine and to pull back the feminine energy and to allow your children, your family members, your spouse, allow them to figure it out. It is not your job to be the rescuer. Good morning, you beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk about things life, love, spirituality, love attraction, all of that juicy goodness. I have a little bit of a raspy voice. I just woke up a little bit ago and I felt guided to do the reading now. Normally I wait until my day is started and I work out and I meditate and then I film a batch for the week, but for some reason my guides were like, film now. And they also guided me to grab some eucalyptus. So for anybody out there, this might be a message for you, maybe from a loved one, or maybe you just got some eucalyptus. But I normally have this hanging above my the shower head in my shower, but they guided me to bring it to the reading today, and actually like sitting here and smelling it feels so good. And I have a little bit of allergies, so don't mind me if I'm sneezing a lot. All right, here we go. So huge energies this week. We have Lionsgate portal on Thursday, which is 888. Mercury is going retrograde, and then we have the new moon. So tons and tons of movement. When Mercury goes retrograde, you know, a lot of people only ever talk about communication being kind of screwy and difficult, but also like you might have bad dreams. A lot of times old memories, old feelings of trauma surface during Mercury retrograde. Maybe you can't sleep. I'm using extra palo today because I just felt guided to. So Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, please open sacred space. Please only allow the highest and whitest light messages to come through. Bless me, bless my cards, bless my beautiful viewers. And I would love to ask all lower vibrations, actually not asking you, all lower vibrations, energies, attachments, please leave my viewers now and leave my auric field, leave my home, leave my viewers' homes, leave their cars, leave their office spaces, leave all 32 layers of all of their auric fields. Lower vibrational entities, you must leave now. You must leave now. Deep breath. Okay. You guys can use that little prayer anytime you feel heaviness. I was on a call with a client last night and she was at work and she had to go to a man's home for her job. And she was standing outside of the man's home and she could just feel an energy of heaviness. And she could just feel like, and it was unique because the man, she was working with somebody else and the man only asked the one woman to come in. He didn't want both women coming in. So it was like the universe was protecting her from going into that house, but she could just feel the energy from outside the house. All right, here we go. I want to start with money because 888, Lionsgate, this is a huge time for people to be manifesting money, opportunities to make money, creations that will bring abundance in. Also, I just heard because of my allergies or whatever this is, like I don't normally get allergies. So this is very rare for me to be feeling like this. I don't ever normally have stuffy noses or sickness. I'm pretty healthy most of the time. And I wasn't always like that. Back when I was a teacher, I would get the stomach bug every year. It was textbook. I would get it every year, either in January or February, and I would be out for like 5 days. It would like knock me on my ass. And that's when I was always eating sugar. And then after my daughter passed away, I gave up sugar for 6 months just to like test it out to see if it would help my depression. And it did. And what I found was when I stopped eating the sugar for so long, it's like my body could finally heal and recalibrate. And I literally would never get the stomach bug ever again. Stomach bud. Like it was my buddy. It was for so many years. But I just stopped getting sick. So, and that was also, you know what? That was probably the celery juice because that was the time when I started drinking celery juice on an empty stomach every morning to heal my celiac disease. So when I gave up sugar, I found out that I had a gluten intolerance, dairy, canola oil, soy. I couldn't eat any of that stuff. And most people can't because it's like poison for our bodies. It's terrible. But so I think I needed to heal my gut. Well, I know I needed to heal it. So I started drinking celery juice on an empty stomach. And then I realized, wow, I don't get sick anymore. I wonder why that is. It's because when your body has an environment that's healthy inside of it, like a healthy terrain, if you will, your immune system works so well, you never get sick. But for the past 2 days, I've been like sneezing nonstop. So um, maybe the seasons are starting to change. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to go with it. First two messages for money: buy an outfit with me. So you're going to treat yourself this week for the Lionsgate portal, and you're going to go dress yourself up. So what happens with money is when money's wanting to tell us a message, this is what money is saying. It's an energy. It's telling you what to do to attract more of it. So the reason why your clothing is connected to money is because when you feel good in your vessel and you feel beautiful, you feel sexy, you're in your sacral energy, you attract love and joy and happiness, right? Well, money is a match to all of those emotions. When you feel in love, you tend to attract money because your heart is beating with joy. And we know that our heart is our magnet. Our heart is what's calling in desires. If we're in sadness and grief and pain and suffering consistently, we're going to struggle to manifest anything because we're in a low vibrational state. But when we're in love or when we're dressed up really cute, even this morning I was like, oh, what do I want to wear for my reading today? And I just felt like that new moon energy, like that kitten energy, right? That playfulness. So this is your call to action. If you've been waking up every day and like just putting on whatever clothes feel comfortable, maybe switch it up and go with something that makes you feel good, that's comfortable, stylish, and maybe it makes you stand out. I highly recommend you all going on genekeys.com and go to the free profile, type in your name, your birthday, and look up your gene keys. It's like a birth chart. It's another form of a birth chart. And there's this wonderful man that created it. But the gene keys are specific to you. It's like your genetic code. One of my top 4 gene keys is I have to dress different. It's literally in my genetic code that if I dress like everybody else, I will be depressed in life. It is like the worst thing for my spirit. So money is telling us that your clothing is going to attract more abundance in your life. Not even so much the clothing, but whatever clothing feels good for you, that's what's going to pull that in because you're going to feel good. And then we have, do you believe I'm good for you? So money is asking, do you believe it's good? Do you see money as a negative thing, as greedy, or is there still an old belief system ingrained in you where it feels bad to receive it? Or when people are offering it for not doing anything, are you okay with receiving it? You have to believe, you guys, that money is so wonderful for us. We want as much as we can because we're going to do good with it. We want to be the people on the planet who are making millions because we're going to put that money back out into the world in such a beautiful way where most of the people in the world that have millions of dollars, not all, but most, are not doing good things with it. And it's selfish and it's a lower vibrational energy who's holding most of the money in the world, and it's corrupt. So we don't want to not want money. We want to be the ones that want it because we have the energy. We've worked on our nervous systems, on our chakra systems so much that we are the ones that can transmute the darkness that the money holds. So I always say I want to attract as much money as I can to sage it, to cleanse it. And then when I pay it back out, I'm like, yes, now I'm sending money back out and it has my frequency on it. It has source energy on it. And now somebody else is going to touch that money, even though it's not really like, not a ton of people are touching money nowadays. It's all digital. But it's just so nice to know that like I'm passing on that pure love energy to somebody else. So first 2 messages for money: buy an outfit, and then make sure you feel good. Make sure you clean up your belief systems about receiving money. Coffee break. I have King coffee in here, almond milk, vanilla oat creamer, 1 scoop of cacao, and then dandelion root. So I have a nice little mixture here, and 1 drop of alcohol-free stevia. So good. And shout out to all of my Leos. It is Leo season. Happy birthday to you all. I am a Leo as well. My birthday is August 19th. And I'm going to put together a cute little Amazon list because I already got a couple questions of people being like, Michelle, what do you wish for your birthday? And I'm like, there's so many things I want. So I think I'm just going to make an Amazon list for my family and friends. So if you've been watching my readings, and I know I'm a gift giver, I love surprising people with gifts or giving them what they want, or yeah, I just love surprising people and I love getting surprises. So if you feel called and you want to celebrate me on my birthday around August 19th, anytime around that date, I will link my Amazon list below if you want to give back and support me. And that's a part of, do you believe I'm good for you? Do I believe I'm worthy of receiving birthday gifts from all of you? You know, a lot of people would be like, ooh, that's cringe, cringe, Michelle. You're asking people to buy things for you. No, it's self-love. It's saying, hey, like, I know you all have big hearts. I know I have a big heart. And if somebody else was like, hey, if you want to support me on my birthday, I love my birthday, I would jump on that so fast because I'd be like, yes, somebody that fully loves themselves and has no fear of judgment. They're not worried about what people are thinking. They're just authentically saying, like, let's celebrate. This is the day that I chose to come to earth. And if people are on my channel and if I'm a leader in some form, why not receive that love, right? You're opening yourself up nowadays, because the old you would never do this, right? The old you would never ask for anything. And now we have to know that we're worthy. You know, do you believe I'm good for you? Money's literally saying that you are worthy, and it wants you to clean up your beliefs around receiving. So when you're literally saying like, hey, it's my birthday, you know, whatever you want to do is awesome, like that's you being open to receiving love. And I believe the universe uses all these different people to send you gifts. So when you get the gifts, know that it's the person that's sending it, but it's also God and the universe, like celebrating you for being in that sovereignty, that wholeness, that happiness, because you weren't always that way. Maybe maybe nobody ever celebrated your birthday. And to be honest, this is why I do my Amazon list, because I spent years with people forgetting it was my birthday. You know, when I was a kid, it would be like 8 p.m. and it's like, oh, it's Michelle's birthday. And, my family would get like a little tea light and put it on the pasta meal that we had for dinner. And I was like, thanks, but thanks for celebrating me. I'm alive, and it was just like, that's all I was worth, was just a little tea light. So I had years of just not feeling that joy. So as an adult in my 40s, ever since I turned 40, I started making a point to welcome the gifts and to say, hey, if you love me and if you like my readings and if you like my mission work, if you want to support me, I'd be happy to receive, because I'm worthy of it now. And I want the second half of my life to be wonderful. And sometimes we have to create that for ourselves. Hence this, feel good to attract good. You can't sit around and go, woe is me. Nobody ever does anything for me. We have to stand up and do it for ourselves. We have to decorate our homes and light candles and bring eucalyptus into our lives to enhance our lives. We're the start of it, we're the root. And when we start nurturing ourselves in that way, guess what happens? Other people start to see that, and it's giving them permission to do it to themselves. And then they value you because you taught them how to do it. Okay, frog spirit is saying take a vacation. Frog also means clear the clutter, but for right now, we're just going to say buy an outfit, take a vacation, feel good to attract good. And I just heard a vacation is coming for somebody. Maybe it's already booked, maybe it's a surprise, and we just got an invitation is coming. So it might come through an invitation. Waiting for the perfect wave, it will come at the end of the month. All right, so at the end of this month, somebody might be receiving something, and it's something that you've kind of been like, no, I'm not settling. I'm waiting for the perfect job. I'm waiting for the perfect vacation, whatever it is. It's going to come at the end of the month. Also, this could be separate from a vacation. You might buy the outfit, be in a feel-good state, go on vacation, and then all of that energy is manifestation energy. You are setting up your vibration to feel good, and then guess what happens? All of a sudden, the manifestation drops in at the end of the month, because throughout the month, you were putting yourself in a high vibrational state, right? So, invitation is coming soon. Somebody's going to be getting an invitation this week. Maybe the outcome of that invitation will happen at the end of the month, and you're going to feel good to pull that invitation in. What about this invitation, Spirit? Tell us about the invitation. Within 2 weeks, which is my birthday. And for some of you else, I know I have a couple friends who have birthdays on the 18th, on the 6th, on the 8th. My niece's birthday is today, the 3rd. All right, let's get an animal card and see what message we get here. Oh, the oyster. You guys, this is manifestation energy again. It's the pearl. When you crack open the oyster, what do you get? The shiny pearl. So it's like somebody's been in a cave in the dark, kind of like becoming a master at manifesting, right? You're inside the cocoon and you've been doing all the work. You've been doing the affirmations. You've been eating healthy, being a good person, healing. Oh, a big healing energy. It's like you've been inside and you've just been like doing the inner work. And soon you're going to pop out and start to really shine your light. And that's when you're going to get these invitations. People are really going to start to see who you are and how wonderful you are, how loving you are. So your time might be coming. And then we have the fish. Wow. Little Pisces energy here. A little moon energy. So the fish usually means like it might feel a little uncomfortable, like when you first come out of the shell, because you're like, whoa, this is new. I have to face all my fears of being seen and being in the spotlight. So it might feel like you're a fish out of water and you're just like, oh, I have to like adjust my nervous system. I wanted to also share something too, that like, because we're sensitive beings, you might feel like a fish out of water and like very ungrounded and not in your flow state, right? When a fish is in the water, it feels at home, it feels in the flow. When it's out of the water, it feels misplaced, it feels like it's not at home. And when we are merging energies with a new timeline, a new life, a new person, every time I get on a client call, the 2 hours before the client call, I feel a vibration. It's like our two auric fields are slowly getting closer to merging for the call. And it's like I feel this. It almost feels like I don't want to do the call because it's so strong, but it's like our energies are calibrating. And then as soon as I'm on the Zoom, I feel amazing. But the 2 hours leading up to every Zoom call, I always feel like it's like this merging. It's like you're crashing into something, but once you're in it, you're good. So if you feel that way when you are working with me or working with somebody else, or maybe a friend is coming over and all of a sudden you feel an urge to want to cancel, don't cancel, right? Just see what happens. As they get there, if you really have fun and everything feels good as soon as they arrive, then you know that you're experiencing the calibration of energies before you come together. And it's a real thing. Like you can feel people before they arrive, and you can feel your new life before it arrives. So if you've been manifesting money, if you've been manifesting travel, new opportunities, speaking engagements, writing that book, whatever it is, when you know that new timeline is coming in to merge with your field, everything is already in our field if we're manifesting it, but when we become a high vibration that's ready to receive it, it can feel very, very uncomfortable. You can also feel like you're dying because an old version of you has to die in order for you to receive this new thing. On my chalkboard out front, I have like right before your life is about to make a turn for the better, you might feel like everything's falling apart, or you might feel like you're dying. And then it says something like, hold the line, you're not. but that's the energy. It's like a fish out of water. Everything feels so uncomfortable and you don't understand why. And you're like, what am I going through right now? Last week I was totally fine. So this week, because the energies are so strong, an invitation might be coming. You might feel out of place. You might feel like this is out of your league. It's not. You can do it. You are the pearl in that oyster. You've been doing the work. It is time to be seen. Okay, let's do more Micah magic. The universe adores you. So you're being celebrated for all of that work you did behind closed doors. And if you are new to the spiritual awakening journey and you're just starting to do the work and you're just starting to really feel into what it feels like to feel source energy, like a lot of times, when I made that card, the universe adores you, it's because you're seeing how the universe is using other people to support you, to love you, to bring you things, to open doors for you. I was on another client call yesterday, and she was sharing with me how she has leveled up and she really was in her feminine, and she did a naked meditation, which I often guide my female clients to do, and anybody can do it, but I only work with women. But it's important to connect to our sexuality. And she did this meditation right when she got out of the shower, and she was feeling herself and she was feeling so good. And later that day, she went to an event, and there's these two guys that were not hitting on her. They were being honorable, but they were supporting her. They were bringing her things. They were listening to her needs. And I believe that it's not the men that are doing that. It's the source energy that you've created that is loving back on you. It's you're literally cultivating the self-love by yourself at home. So that means if you are embodying self-love everywhere you go, you will receive love. Okay. And that's what the pearl energy is. It's like you've been doing the work to love yourself, the inner work, and now you're seeing all the benefits of it. You're seeing how your movie, all the characters in your movie, in your bubble, as I like to call it, they reflect how you're being. So whoever you are being right now, you are automatically going to attract people in front of you being the same way. Okay, lots of messages here. You are getting messages through music. Your angels are asking you to use them. Rainbows are a sign that your happy endings are coming soon. And oh, a past loved one is here. So the rainbows could be connected to a past loved one. If you're seeing rainbows, that could be somebody that passed that's saying, hey, I'm with you right now. You're getting messages from music. That could be from the past loved one. And your angels are literally asking you to use them. So for me, when I get these four in this sequence, I would say your past loved one kind of is an angel, is a guide, right? They're saying, use me. Hey, like I can bring you things. I can bring you money for that job. I can bring you relief to get out of a certain situation, or I can bring you good health. You just have to verbally ask for it. You guys, the spirit world cannot intervene unless you ask. They cannot infringe upon your free will. So we have to call them in to say, hey, come help me here. Let me hit all the green lights. Bring me this gift card, and they'll do it. You can also say, hey, lower vibrations, you must leave. Hey, loved ones, can you help me remove the lower vibrations from my home? So it's all free will. We have to be able to command our spaces, ask for our needs to be met. And then when we start to hear the music and the synchronicities, we're like, oh my gosh, they heard us. They're sending us the signs. When you see the rainbow, that's confirmation that they heard you. They're answering your call. Okay, so because I said call, I just thought of somebody calling somebody. So we're going to do a little twin flame soulmate energy read real fast. Ooh. We're going to use the Hidden Truth Oracle. So if you're in separation from somebody, if you're just connected to somebody in the world and you want to know what they're thinking about you right now, this is it. So meditate on that person. What do they want to tell you right now? I wish I could share my good news with you. Somebody has good news, and I just heard somebody got a new job and they want to tell you, and they're leveling up and they're so proud of themselves. They cannot wait to share the news. And this could be a partner or spouse that you have right now. They have good news coming your way. We will be together again. Love that for some of you. Fun fact, 6 years ago, my manifestation was I wanted to be a twin flame reader. I was obsessed with it. I loved learning about God's connections and the fact that maybe we were meant to be with one other soul on this planet. Like, I just like that idea of it. I knew exactly what I was doing. So when somebody kind of pulls away or sabotages or ghosts the situation, or they kind of deep down know their fears and they know why they're doing it, but they can't help but not do it. And I believe that's spirit moving them. I believe that certain two people, if they're not ready to be together because there's a lot of healing, a lot of wounding that has to come, come to the surface, God won't make it so that person, comes to you. And a lot of times the feminine is very needy and wanting it to happen and feeling like she needs that codependency, but that's what she has to heal. She has to heal the separation and realize I'm fully on my own and I don't need a partner. And it's so funny. I was thinking about this last night. I was like, wow, I have not had a thought in like weeks about really wanting a partner. I just feel so whole. I feel so fulfilled on my own. And this is a huge thing for me. Normally, I've done session after session after session with my mentor trying to heal the codependency in me of needing a partner. And we've just surrendered to like, okay, Michelle, if I don't have a partner in this lifetime, I have to be okay with that. Like maybe my soul, maybe my partner's on the other side, right? I don't know. Like whoever God really made for me. So I've had to surrender to that, but also not believe into that belief system. So balancing both. But for the first time in my life, I'll be 42 this August. I finally feel like I'm not walking through my day having those little thoughts. Those little thoughts where you're like, I wish I had this. I wish I had $1 million. I wish I had a partner right now to share this news with. That's kind of that energy. For the first time in my life, I have not thought that in so long. And it feels so good. And they say a lot of times when the feminine is in that energy and she doesn't need her masculine, that's normally when they come back because they feel that the masculine usually doesn't want to feel pressure of responsibility and feeling like they're being pulled on, right? They want freedom essentially. So when a feminine is in that energy, it's freedom. She doesn't need him. She can exist with him. She's not going to pull on his energy. And that pulls the masculine in and he wants to provide for her. He wants to smell her. He wants to be near her. He just wants to be in her energy when she's not in a I need you energy. So if you're in a marriage and things are not harmonious, I would recommend the feminine pulling away, going on a vacation for 2 days, just get back into your own body, into yourself, and be in your wholeness. Light candles, dress your body up, do the things that make you feel beautiful. And that sovereign whole energy will pull the masculine and make him come and be attracted to you again energetically because the magnetic pull will be there because you've let go. When you let go, they arrive. Okay. It's like an energetic thing that's really hard to teach and it's really hard to master. But if you, go and do your own thing, work on your mission, pull cards, create jewelry, make clothing, work on your website, do client calls, whatever it is, when you're distracted and doing you, they feel like they want to be around you. They all of a sudden start texting you and they start coming around and you're like, wait, this is so weird. I feel like I'm not caring about them. And then they show up. It's because they don't feel that pull. Masculines want freedom. They don't want to feel like you need them to survive. I know I messed everything up. Yeah. That's the wounding, and that's okay. I knew exactly what I was doing. I know I messed everything up. I wish I could share my good news with you. We will be together again. I'm afraid to contact you. And I want to say this to any masculine that's watching, that if you're in that energy and you're relating to this and you're like, yeah, I know my feminine, she pulls on my energy. It's kind of unattractive how needy she is. And you just want your freedom, right? You want your freedom not to go cheat or not to go do anything, but you just want to feel free. And when she heals, you're going to feel free. She's going to hold a space for you that you've never felt before. You're going to be able to be all of you, and she's not going to judge you. If she is spiritually awakened, She's going to hold space for you. Oh my God, you're going to get the most nurturing love you've ever gotten in your entire life. And you're not going to have to worry about her stepping out on you, flirting with other people, or leaving you one day, because a woman that's spiritually awakened knows her worth, and her connection to spirit is the most important thing, and her integrity is the most important thing. So all of that coming together full circle, when she offers that to a man, when she offers that to you, divine masculine who's watching, it is sacred. She's always going to be honest with you. She's never going to keep secrets from you. You're always going to know what she's thinking and feeling, and she's going to be honest with you. And you have to create the protector, provider, the safety container for her to be in, right? So she wants to dance and sing and play and do all those things. You're the container for her. You're the ground for her to dance on. And if you are flaky, if you're inconsistent, if you're not planning the dates, if you're not showing up when you say you're going to show up, that immediately is going to turn off her dancing energy, and she's going to be in survival mode. She's going to be in fear because she's going to say, wait, I thought this was safe and it's not now. So what I would call the masculines to do right now, if you know that you messed something up, right, and you're afraid to contact her, before you contact her or him, you need to make sure that you are consistent, you're fully in your integrity, you are willing to be vulnerable and open up and share your feelings. And also, you have to be stable. You have to have your own healthy routines. You have to be taking care of your body. You have to be taking care of your finances. If you're searching for your purpose, she can help you with that. She has the intuition. She has the connection to spirit. She's going to be able to say, hey, babe, you should try this. And he might go try it. And that might be his mission work. And he needed her to go into the womb space, the creator space, to listen for spirit's guidance on what he should do, right? The feminine holds that wisdom. She's the oracle. She's the one that's going to guide him, and he gets to have her to do that for him. So if there's any part of a masculine who's feeling lost in his life, a lot of times your feminine has the answer. And you might not be able to move forward because God's saying, hey, you need her to do your mission. She is your oracle. She is your connection to spirit. And she needs you to be solid so that she can feel safe, right? Think about this: feminine and masculine energy. The masculine is the ground, right? And she's sitting on the ground meditating, and she's calling in the guidance for what they should do in their life. Should we go buy a new house? Should we move cities? Let me talk to spirit. Well, he's gonna hold her. She's gonna sit in his hands, and she's gonna meditate. Now, if you as a masculine cannot hold her, if you are not showing up when you say you're going to show up, if you're not being sturdy, if you're not open and vulnerable and providing a space for her to sit, she can't rest in that space. There's no safe space for her to sit, right? So that's why these two people have to heal on their own first, is because if you come in with shaky ground and you're still not in a healthy routine, and you still, you go through bouts of like being really depressed, and then you need somebody to help you out of it, that's not a stable ground for her. So you have to be fully in your health mission to hold her, right? And she will then be able to sit on you and get the wisdom that she needs from spirit. And it's like the three of you are working together: the masculine, the feminine, and spirit. And as that trio, right, that triangle, you are now able to navigate life together. She feels safe. You feel so powerful because you're able to hold that space for her finally. And now you two can work together to build something amazing. But if he's not safe and stable and in his own healthy routines, she is going to struggle to be with you. And that's normally when somebody ghosts, somebody leaves, is because they're just like, you are not safe, and my body is not feeling safe around you, and I just can't be around that, because it just is childhood all over again. And as an awakened feminine, we are not choosing our childhood all over again. So it's a really powerful message. And feminines, this is another thing. I got this guidance on a client call the other day. If you are trying to problem solve everything for your masculine and telling him what to do, and do you do this with your parents? Are you calling your parents and constantly giving them advice? Or your kids or whoever? Pull back that feminine and that masculine energy within you and say, you know what, I'm not really allowing this person to figure it out on their own. Instead, let me say, hey babe, I have faith. I know you'll figure it out. Or, hey, son or daughter, you'll figure it out. Let's see what your imagination can come up with instead of taking the tool and doing it for them, right? Sit back, even with your parents. Mom, I know you'll figure it out. You're good. And you empower them to go within to find an answer to whatever it is, whether it's a school assignment, whether it's building something. You encourage that other person to figure it out on their own. And that is pure feminine energy, sitting back, allowing. And when somebody hears that you believe in them, that is so like empowering. And then they know that you're there in case they do fall or they fail. They know that you're still going to help them. You're not saying, hey, it's good luck, you figure that out. You're saying, I'm here. Let's see what you can do. I want to see what's in your brain. I want to see what you create. And instead of going, oh, you should do this and you should do that, and maybe you could do this, and and I know there's somebody saying, well, Michelle, you just said like earlier, you can connect to spirit and bring the answer for the masculine. That's different, right? That you only do that when the masculine comes to you asking for help. If he's not asking for help, you just encourage. And if he maybe comes to you and is just venting about something he can't figure out, but he's not asking you for help, you say, I have total faith that you're going to figure this out, and I'm excited to see what happens. And as a masculine, that's like, it's like, I got to perform for her. Now I have a mission to complete. And it's like he wants to do it for her and for himself and for work or whatever he's doing. So there's so many cool ways to activate a masculine and to pull back the feminine energy and to allow your children, your family members, your spouse, allow them to figure it out. It is not your job to be the rescuer or the saver. If you're trying to do that, you're in masculine energy, and that is out of alignment for you. So we have to learn to pull back and rest more and really allow everything. And when you do this, you're telling the universe, hey, I trust you too. I know that you'll figure my manifestation out. So it's a full on who you are being is what you are attracting. So when you're being in allowance, guess what you're doing? You're attracting allowance. You're attracting literal allowance, like in money. That was a good little analogy. So the more you allow others to be themselves and to figure it out, the more you receive, is what I was trying to say. I wish I had treated you better. And we forgive and move on, right? It's okay. They didn't know any better. They didn't have the tools. And then I hope that you can forgive me one day. Final message there. That was really beautiful. Forgiveness for all people is necessary. Compassion, love. We have to be able to surrender into that, because it really is just, like I said, it's out of their control. If they're not coming towards you, it's because they're repelled by the energy. If there's a clingy, needy energy and you're like, I need this person. No, Spirit's saying, you need to let go. We have to fully let go of this other person and know that we can survive on our own, paying our own bills, meditating on our own, eating healthy on our own, cooking our own meals. If you're in a relationship where that other person is literally providing needs for you and you're not doing it for yourself, that's going to end really poorly, because you're slipping into an energy of you're losing a piece of yourself. You're losing a piece of your independence. So even if somebody's so wonderful, maybe they cook every meal for you, eventually you got to take the reins and start cooking your own meals just for your own strength, to say, I can do it on my own. Because guess what? If you get into a 10-year cycle of somebody consistently doing one or two things for you always, what happens when that person's no longer here? You're really going to feel, I know that's like a small analogy about cooking, but really, like, food is nourishing. When you're food shopping for yourself and cooking for yourself, you are nurturing yourself. And if you're always being fed that by somebody else, that's a codependency. You've lost your sovereignty there. You've put your survival kind of into somebody else's hands. So it has to be a balance. You got to give and take. Don't be too much of one thing in a partnership. It has to be a balance of give and take. Yes, one partner is going to be really good at something and the other partner is going to, maybe someone's like, I hate doing the laundry, and they're like, I'll do it. And somebody's like, I hate doing the dishes, but every once in a while, be disciplined and go do the thing you don't like to do. Okay. It's really important to not lose that challenge energy. We have to challenge ourselves. Okay. We have the divine masculine and the 7 of swords. Wow. The divine masculine is at a loss of peace of mind or personal freedom. Take caution and be aware of others' actions. A material loss. Make sure you are being honest with yourself. Embarrassing secrets. All right. So somebody might be finally owning up to poor behavior. They're finally saying, okay, I'm going to be honest. I wasn't honest with you. I was hiding my feelings. So it's keeping secrets, and then they're finally coming out. And the emperor says, logic, organization will increase your success. Take charge of the situation, accept a leadership role, structure, and discipline. So those are all the traits of the emperor. The emperor is this solid, he's grounded, he's sitting there with his sword. He knows when to be honest. He's in integrity. It's a real beautiful energy of like that pattern of always needing to flirt or cheat or be toxic in any kind of way, or be sneaky, or maybe not tell your partner where you're going. Like you're all of a sudden out of that pattern. It's like the universe plucked you out, and maybe it happened in a really embarrassing way. Maybe you got caught doing something and it was like the universe smacking you on the wrist, like, yeah, you were still in this pattern and you weren't going to stop, so we had to wake you the heck up to get you out of that, to get you out of integrity, to get you out of addictions, to get you just out of that toxic cycle of thinking that you need something to survive. And now the emperor is out of addictions. He doesn't need anything to fill him up. He knows how to provide. He's in his mission work. He feels purposeful. So now, because he's in that energy, guess what he can do? He can show up for his feminine. But it took him a while to get here. And that's why he's saying, I knew what I was doing. I know I messed everything up. I wish I had treated you better. That was his behavior before. And now he's the emperor. So full circle moment. Okay, dream talk. We get this card so often. Your subconscious constantly and subtly speaks through your dreams. It's just one of the many ways in which your soul and those here in the spirit world can reach out and communicate with you through signs, symbols, messages, and more. And during Mercury retrograde, you can have bad dreams. You can have old trauma surfacing and you feel like it's going to happen again, but you're healing in your dreams. Your dreams can be very, very healing. They can show you, like say during your spiritual awakening, you kept having a fear of natural disasters or people exposing a secret, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, what if somebody finds out I did that? Oh my God, I'm going to freak out. But as your spiritual awakening goes on and on and on, you keep having that dream around full moons, new moons, Mercury retrograde. And each time you have it, you get less and less scared, right? You're just like, wow, I had that dream and I used to really get really frazzled by that, but now I don't anymore. This is because your chakras are healing that energy. You're healing the embarrassment, the shame, that sacral and solar plexus chakras in your belly, they normally hold the guilt and shame. So when you're dreaming of a shameful moment and you wake up and you don't feel the shame anymore, that means you've healed it. That means your psyche was purging it for good. And you're like, okay, now I can move forward in my life and not hold on to that old trailer behind me of filled with my past. I can unhook it and drive on and not carry the weight of my past with me. Okay, one of the biggest, hardest, toughest struggles on the spiritual journey is when people awaken, they look back at what they've done in the past and they're so incredibly shameful and embarrassed because they were acting on actions, maybe being mean to their kids when their kids were little, right? I posted a video this morning on my Instagram. It's my niece Anna's birthday today. And there was a little video of my little niece, Eva, and she was coming up to me and she's like, she was so like, oh, it breaks my heart that I responded this way. But it was a DVD case with no DVD in it, right? And she was coming up to me and she's like, look, a picture, a picture. And I was so sarcastic, not awakened, heart closed. And I was like, I was, just trying to be funny, but not in a nice way. I was like, oh, it's a DVD case with nothing in it. And that's how I spoke to her. And she was like 4. And she was like, I know. And look, it's pop up. Can you see pop up? And it was literally a DVD case. And she was pretending her imagination was running wild. And she was saying it was pop up on the DVD case. And I was like, yeah, really, sure. I said something so sarcastic. And then I was watching myself in this video, listening to myself, and I'm like, man, I hate that I treated her that way. I had such shame about that this morning. And I was watching the video going, okay, how would I have responded now? And if she would have come up and been like, Shushi, look, it's a picture, it's a picture. And I would have been like, oh my gosh, I see it too. Isn't it beautiful? Like I would have played into it with her, right? And she would have said, like, it's pop up. And I'd be like, what's he wearing? What color is his hair? What's his shirt? Like I would have literally engaged with her imagination. But the cold, unawakened, calloused adult me, how adults are perceived to not be playful, who've lost the inner child in them. My inner child was gone, right? And here's this 4-year-old going, Shushi, look. And I was like, I literally was cold and go, oh, wow, it's a DVD case. Like, ugh, that part of me just wants to cry that I was mean in a very weird, I wasn't flat out mean, but I was in the energy behind my words was like, oh, not playing into her imagination, not fueling her, not giving her love. So if you have shame coming up this week, if you have things resurfacing during this Mercury retrograde, that's okay. We have to be willing on the spiritual path to forgive ourselves. I didn't know any better. I was somebody who was abused. I had parents that talked to me that way. I had siblings that talked to me that way. So of course I'm going to develop a pattern in me that does that to kids too. And that's the cycle that we cut off and we break and we no longer do it anymore. So if you're a mom or a parent right now and you went through a phase of not being so nice to your kids or being irritable or not being able to regulate your emotions, and maybe you lashed out and yelled at them like 5 years ago, 2 years ago, before your spiritual awakening, and now you're awakened and now you're acting different, I need you to let go of that. I need you to talk to your kids, express the apology, right? And say, I'm so sorry if you have memories of me in the past of being that way. I promise I will never be that way again. And I want you to know that we're human and this is part of the evolution of us as spirits in these bodies, is that we are going to mess up and we have patterns. And it's important for us to see the pattern, apologize it, thank it, and then move on and don't take it with you. Okay, so I feel like this is a really important message. I feel like there's parents watching right now and you are feeling that way because when we awaken, we see our past, we see more clearly. And also, we start to see how we were treated in childhood. We see what was really done to us. We see the lack of love. We see the disdain and the comments from our parents. And we're like, that wasn't love. We go through our phone and we see that, we were always reaching out to our parents at a young age and or even at an adult age, looking for their love, looking for them to hang out with us. And they never said yes. And they completely diminished us and declined and rejected. And you're just like, I didn't get love my whole life. Oh my gosh. And it really becomes loud and clear. And you see that inner child in you, and you're just like, I'm so sorry, Michelle. I'm so sorry you didn't get that. And that's what brings on the forgiveness for the pattern. Because I then see, wow, I was not given any sort of compassionate, nurturing, feminine love as a child. And of course, I'm going to act cold to my 4-year-old niece because I wasn't taught. So I can forgive that behavior because I understand where the pattern started. And now that I'm out of all of that, I can observe it and I can be different and I can express apologies. I can move forward and just be really, really conscious to never do that again and to teach about it, to help other people see their patterns and to step out of it. Okay. 2 more cards. Oh, you guys, we have forgiveness and it's green for the heart chakra and trust. Wow, look how beautiful. Spirit is spot on. Forgiveness, holding on to resentment and anger is preventing or even suffocating your spiritual growth. Yes. Resentment is one of the strongest and most damaging of human emotions. And you guys, I was just telling a client this the other night that when we have resentment towards our parents and they like shunned us as kids and we were sick and they weren't good to us when we were sick, or they told us to be quiet and go in the other room. When you now as an adult are like, whatever, I'm not going to be there for you, then that emanates a negative low vibration on your auric field. That's what this is saying. It's saying resentment is one of the strongest, most damaging of human emotions. So if you are holding that, you're not even aware of it, you're vibrating that. You are telling the universe you want more of that. So that's why it's important to forgive and to go to the root and figure out, where did this begin? Wow, my parents really didn't know any better. Go to the root for them. What kind of childhood did they have? They didn't have the tools. I always say, if your parents didn't love you and they loved you with conditional love, it would be like handing a 10-year-old car keys and saying, drive the car right now. They don't know how to drive. They don't have the tools. They don't know which pedal is the gas pedal. They don't know how to move it into drive. That's like your parents. Your parents had no tools. They were giving birth to babies with no capacity to drive the car. Somebody gave them the keys and they started driving and it was a mess. And then you're the product of that mess. So as an adult, we have to forgive that. Nobody taught them how to drive, right? So, but that doesn't negate the pain of being in that chaos. That's what the inner child work is. You are allowing that inner child to scream with anger, to have tools. And I always like to go sprint at parks to get rid of my anger and my grief and the love that I didn't get. So you can be all of you. You can have the inner child that comes out and rages and punches pillows and works out really hard, or just screams and cries with a mentor. And then you can also have the spiritual part of you that's like, I know why my parent did it. And I know that I chose them to do it to me, so I can learn what conditional love is, to then come out of that and teach unconditional love. So it says the act of forgiveness in its own right is equally incredibly powerful, and it has the capacity to heal and transform. So this is you forgiving yourself, understanding your parents. I'm not going to say you have to forgive your parents because I don't know each of your stories. You can understand why they did it though. But you forgive you and you really see yourself receiving the lack of the love and really fall in love with yourself. And the more you fall in love with you, the more you emanate that loving energy outside of you, which then who you are being is what you are attracting. Then your life becomes harmonious. But if you are not allowing that inner child to rage, and if you're not letting her or him express their anger for not getting the love that they deserved, you're going to be emanating resentment unconsciously. Okay, it says trust. While your logical mind is dictating a supposedly clear direction, your soul's inner guidance is urging you to follow an alternative path. The logical path may be one that you consider safe and more familiar, but you could be missing out on a boundless opportunity and so much more. So if you're feeling called, this is the leap of faith card. I have multiple people in my group coaching program who are starting new jobs, taking leaps of faith, cutting out relationships. You can trust that when you leave your comfort zone, you might feel like this, right? You might feel like a fish out of water, but you're going to be shining so bright with this oyster card. You're going to be letting your inner child that had always wanted to come out and just be playful and fun and not be smushed by the world, aka the parents or the family upbringing, wherever you grew up, whether it was grandparents and aunt, your parents, you were smushed that whole time in childhood, right? Well, now it's saying take a leap of faith. If you have now manifested, this is a huge lesson right now, huge message. Look at your life right now. Take inventory of everything that you're experiencing, good and bad. Now, I want you to look at your childhood, everything you experience, good and bad. Does your current reality match your childhood? Are you married to somebody that's just like your mom or dad? Are you in a job where the boss is treating you like your mom and dad? Your programming, your pattern is going to keep attracting jobs, relationships, and situations that mimic your childhood until you fully awaken, see the pattern, rip it out, and then you take a leap of faith into a brand new timeline. So all of my clients right now are reliving their childhood in adulthood with partners, with careers that are literally conditional love. And they are being called to leave the conditional love to choose themselves. And that's so scary because you don't know what that feels like. Your nervous system has never felt that. You know, you might not feel worthy of having your dream job. You might not feel worthy of having your dream partner because it feels so foreign, because you've been living in your childhood your whole life. And the spiritual awakening journey is waking up, seeing the pattern, seeing the inner child, and picking that inner child up and taking them out of the environment that you're in right now and saying, you deserve better. Grab your inner child and leave that thing that you're in that is suffocating you. And you can fully trust that you will be supported along the way. I literally was doing sprints yesterday, and on the ground it said, don't give up. That's full on support. That was me stepping into this new version of me, posting my first group coaching program. I had made my first 20K month. And it's like spirit saying, don't back down now, Michelle. Keep going. Don't give up. Don't let your fear stop you from expanding. I had to expand my nervous system to hold that 20K. I had never made that much in my business before. I've manifested more before. And I shouldn't say that. My mindfulness program, even though it's not considered my own personal business, it was a creation. It was something that I created that somebody else was selling for me. You know, that made me $150,000 over a period of time. So that was my first capacity to hold a lot of money, but it came in segments. It did not come in 150,000. The first one was 29,000, which I was manifesting 30, which was pretty cool. And then it was like 5,000 here, 4,000 there, 10,000 here. And it was like my nervous system could only hold that much each month. And the most I'd ever made in a month, I think, was around $10,000. And then this month was 20K. And I had a long span of time in between those two. I think it was like a year and a half. So in my own personal business, not the mindfulness program, I made my first big amount. And this is how we know that our healing is working, because our nervous system, our reality is reflecting this abundance. The money's coming and we're holding it. And we're not getting super, super high when the money comes in. We're grounded and we say, thank you, universe. I will use this money for good. I will put some away for myself. I'm not going to brag about it. I'm not going to go spend it all. I'm literally just going to say, this is normal for me. This is part of my new reality. I can hold more. And it was because I forgave myself. I forgave my abusers. I had a really bad trauma that surfaced the week before I made that money. And it was just like, wow, I needed to release that. I needed to forgive. I was maybe holding this secret, right? An embarrassing secret about myself that I didn't know because it was trauma. So I took a leap and started the group coaching program saying, I want more for myself. You know, my low bank account for the past year, trying to figure out entrepreneurship, trying to figure out the best container to grow my business in, I was ready to give up. I'm like, this sucks. Like, how am I, as an intuitive reader, how am I ever going to make enough to support myself? You know, it's the most I could ever make was like 4,000 or 5,000 a month just with readings and with coaching sessions and my mentorship. But I wanted more. Like, I wanted to be able to travel and I want a house one day, and I can't do it with just that amount that was coming in. So what I had to do was I had to expand my auric field to hold more, which means, look, she's expanding or he's expanding. He's letting his light shine more, which means I had to take a risk, open up a system where I could reach more people. And that's what the group coaching was. And also my Awaken Your Magic group, that was me opening myself up, trusting that I'm going to do something new and I don't know if it's going to be the answer, but I'm going to do it because it feels fun. It feels light. It feels exciting to help more people learn about all this. Like, you guys know, my mission is literally to teach. I am here to teach. I experience and then I teach my experiences. I experience, I heal, I go through traumas, I heal it, and then I share how I did it. So we have to take risks. We have to be willing to step out of the comfort zone, because that inner child, my inner child, was still in the lack mindset. And when I started this program, I picked up my inner child and I said, we are moving to millions. We are reaching millions of people. We are going to shine our light, and it is safe now. I got you. Let's go in this direction. Let's get out of the childhood. Let's get out of the shame. Let's get out of the abuse, and let's celebrate ourselves and provide abundance, provide ourselves with an abundant life. And as a single woman, that is really hard to move into that masculine energy to want to provide, because it's not in my nature. My nature is to nurture and it's not to provide, and it's not to be, the protector, even though I have that animal in me that's like, if you hurt my nieces or nephews, I'm coming for you. I'm not going to I will literally stand there and get hit. And, for my nieces and my nephews, I know that about myself. So a little piece of me is just like, I don't always want to have that exterior shield. I want a masculine man to do that for me. But like I said, we can't put all of our eggs in a basket. We cannot give our power away. We have to learn to stand on our feet by ourselves and then come together with somebody else and balance those energies together. So if you are literally right now, that analogy of you in your bubble, if it mirrors your childhood, you're being called to take your inner child out of that environment. It's almost like every day when you keep living this life in this job you hate, with this partner you're not matching with, you're elevating and they're not elevating. And I'm not saying just go abruptly leave everything in your life, but really look at it and say, why am I staying here if I'm not in my highest? If it's not filling me, then I'm not staying, right? We want things that fill us up. We don't want things that drain us. And we're so used to in childhood being drained. And when you see your inner child, it's like you're taking them to a kid's house to play every day, and you're basically knowing that the kids at that house are going to bully your child. But every day you're picking up your child and you're taking them to the bully. That's what you're doing when you're staying in something that's unhealthy. But I understand why you don't leave, because it is terrifying to not know if you'll have the finances to survive on your own. If it's terrifying to not know what job you want to do next. But spirit right now is saying that you need community, you need coaching, and you need trust. Okay? You can't do it alone. You need support. You need, like, you watching this reading, this is support for you. You can rely on readings. You can rely on coaching from me through the readings. But if you really need that one-on-one support, hire somebody, invest in yourself. Literally, you have to do something to really help that inner child who's suffering inside of you. And when you see it as a child outside of you, who you're taking somewhere and they're going to be abused emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally every single day, you see yourself more clearly and you're like, F that, I want to protect that child. And that's that lion inside of us that's like, no, nobody's going to hurt my inner child. And if you can see yourself with that love, oh my gosh, that's the ultimate self-love, because you're literally making every decision throughout your day. Do I want to water my flowers? Yeah, because I want to be the person that enjoys them. I want to look at the flowers and feel really good about them. Do I want to do the dishes? Yeah, because I want my house to feel clean and I want to eat on clean plates. Thank God we have a dishwasher, right? Like, there's so many different gratitude moments, but you have to motivate yourself to want to take care of you. And that's that full circle final message. If you're not in a partnership, or if you're in an unhealthy partnership, that's the missing piece. You are not sovereign and you are not loving yourself enough to take care of yourself. You're allowing somebody else to do it, which could be taking your power away, or you're allowing somebody else to diminish you as you're doing those things. And they're telling you you're not doing it good enough. That's your childhood. Remove your inner child from that situation. Take care of him or her and do things. Dress your body up, decorate your house, do the small things to generate that joy. And then when your heart is beating with joy, I'm telling you, you guys, the red carpet effect happens. When you love yourself, every manifestation you could ever want comes in. But the problem is, a lot of people think that they're loving themselves, but they don't realize that that inner child is still going to the toxic home. And that's what these readings are for. I want to help you see your pattern. Your pattern is you're still living in the simulation of your childhood. It's just with different humans, right? They're just different humans holding the same frequency, holding the same diminishing energy. and we're tied to the human because, oh, we love them. I know that they're talking down to me, but I love them. That's where you have to make the decision. Are you literally going to subject your inner child to somebody that's hurting them every day? And that's where you get to choose. So good. So good. Forgiveness, main message. Forgive yourself, forgive others, and then make the choice to take the leap of faith to leave. And if you need support, if you need coaching, if you need a community, I offer my Awaken Your Magic community. It's $44 a month, where it's, you know, not as expensive as getting a one-on-one session with me, but you still get coaching in there. Like, I'll respond in there, and you also get access to all of my courses that are sold on my website, my energy course, my intuitive reader course. I have a manifesting course in there. So you're going to get tons of content. So you can join that. You can also join my group coaching program that I'm going to be running October 1st. There's 2 people now on the wait list for that. I'm going to hold 7 to 8 spots open. So you can go to my website and click that link to join. You can lock in your spot with a discounted rate now if you want, because it will be here before you know it. And then I mentor women. So if you want to do 8 weeks with me, 1 Zoom a week for 8 weeks, that is also on my website. You can sign up for that at any time. And then right now, since I'm doing my group coaching program, I'm not really taking any one-on-one readings because I really have a packed schedule. And I want to put all my energy into this group. I want to put all my energy into my Awaken Your Magic group, my community, and into my group coaching. So I'm not really doing many one-on-one sessions right now. But if you want to sign up for the mentorship, I can schedule you in and we can strategically work it so that it fits in my schedule. Because I want people that want to commit to the growth, you know. But I'm sending you so much love. Everything's below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. And again, if you want to support me for my birthday, August 19th, my Amazon list will be below. I'm going to update it today and add some cute things in there, all of my little health supplements or things that I can use for my reading. I think it would be really cool to know that if I was using something and one of you guys bought it for me. I think that would be really cool. And obviously, in any way that I can support you, I'd be happy to. Just comment below. Let me know what you need at this time, what kind of videos, what kind of content you need. I'm all about the free content. So I'm sending you so much love. Enjoy this week. Happy Lionsgate 888. I might actually do another reading around that time if I have time. So stay tuned and I will see you guys soon. All right, peace out.